Hey, good morning, afternoon, evening, whatever it is. I'm Chase Cunningham, Dr. Zero Trust, Dr. Chase Cunningham. If you want to be formal, I'm going to give you the top 10 things you need to know in cyber this week through Cybersecurity HQ. Oh, and by the way, this is HD, and you can tell my allergies are murdering me right now. So I feel for all you people that deal with this during the fall season. I think I'm going blind from this stuff. Anyway, New York College forced to invest 3.5 million in cybersecurity after breach affecting 200,000 students. New York State Attorney General is forcing a college to invest 3.5 million into cybersecurity after a 2021 data breach that affected 200,000 people. Let's see. Attorney General Letitia James and Marymount Manhattan College announced an agreement on last Thursday, that will see New York City liberal arts institutions invest heavily to address data security deficiencies exposed during the ransomware attack. Yeah. MMC paid the ransom to the group, which has not been identified. The school spent 8 months investigating the situation and submitted findings to the AG's office, noting that some of the data was more than 10 years old. So forcing them is probably not the right way to say this. They got hit and they had a bunch of data that they shouldn't have kept or stored in a different way or something else, and they're being required to pay because they got a fine. But honestly, this is also a cautionary tale of, if you had invested smarter before the compromise, you wouldn't have to deal with this now. This stuff from the rundown on the breach was pretty simple to have avoided. So spend the money now, be smart about it. Don't get hit with a multi-million-dollar fine later. There's your 2 cents. There's a great article in Breaking Defense about the CIO at the DIA, the Defense Intelligence Agency. The title is "ZeroTrust is breaking things at the DIA," and that's good. This is from their CIO. And basically, he says, sometimes the DIA agency implements strict zero trust online protocols. Things just stop working. And he says, and that's good. This is Doug Casa, told an audience at the Potomac Officers Club. It's good, he said, because the malfunction means that whatever application or device that was trying to access the agency's network did not meet the DIA's new standards. Under what is known as complied to connect paradigm, only applications using approved security measures can hook in. Now, there's a lot more to this. Go read the article, but this is a good takeaway of, if you're doing ZT strategically correct, things will break. People are going to get irked, and then you go fix the problem, but you've put a control and a protocol in place that actually causes things to get better. Sometimes breaking stuff is good, because breaking stuff lets you know where there's a weakness and you can fix it and move on. See how that works? Wall Street Journal, there's an article, boards still lack cybersecurity expertise. This is my shocked face. Just 12% of S&P 500 companies have board directors with relevant cyber credential, a new study says. Now, this is obviously behind a paywall. If you don't have it, I don't know what to tell you, but it's not that expensive. Wall Street Journal is pretty solid, usually lots of numbers and information, but 12% of S&P 500 company boards have got someone on there that has quals. Now, the other thing that they don't really mention is what the specifics of the quals are to be a member of a board. That's pretty broad, which is not good. So go read that and understand. And if your company doesn't have cybersecurity people on the board or have access to the board, you're wrong. So fix that, because cyber is a very critical piece of business today. Now, cyber people, if you can't speak board, go learn how to speak board. Go learn how to talk business, because we can't just talk nerd stuff and expect them to understand why we're doing what we're doing. The state of Colorado penalizes Broomfield Nursing Home for a cybersecurity breach. Broomfield Nursing Home and Rehab Center and Assisted Living Facility in Broomfield will pay a fine and be required to upgrade its information security systems following a 2021 data breach that exposed the personal data of hundreds of current and former patients and employees. Now, that's pretty standard stuff, but here's the interesting thing. As I always love to do, I go look through Shodan and go look through some other search engines that will find misconfigurations or whatever else. Guess what? It took me about 8 seconds to find a bunch of stuff with the state of Colorado that was misconfigured, including an FTP server exposed to the internet. I won't give you any more of that because I'm not trying to get myself in trouble. But if you're going to place these requirements on organizations, you had better make sure that your shit is in one sock, or you're just being hypocritical and bad things should happen to you. So, state of Colorado, go fix your stuff. Oh, and by the way, the New York thing where they just put that on the college, how much you want to bet I can go find some stuff on them too. Anyway, there's an article in ABC News. International Criminal Court says cybersecurity incident affected its information systems last week. Now, if you're wondering why this is a thing, well, about a week ago, there was an article that came out that said this court was going to start helping enforce laws internationally for cybersecurity protections, but they just got breached in the same week. So, whoops. How are you going to be a court that's going to litigate this stuff if you are not secure, especially at the international level? Like, fix your things and be solid, and then go off and say you're going to do other stuff. It doesn't look good if you do the other things. Know what I mean? And then lastly, a couple of other pieces here that are totally worth looking at. John Kindervag has recently joined Illumio, which is a very interesting thing in the market. John's the creator, ZT Godfather, if you will, and he's now on with Illumio. And he was a Palo Alto guy before. So it'll be interesting to see what goes on with Illumio as they line up on that and where they go next. And then lastly, there's an article on northeastern.edu about hacking self-driving cars. Now, this should not be a shocker for anybody, but if you can build it, someone else can break it. But really the issue is if we put more software into these cars and people can manipulate them, which has been shown repeatedly, and now you have self-driving, including self-driving 18-wheelers. They're also talking about self-driving trains, and someone can manipulate, modify, misconfigure, whatever else. It's a bad day, because that's a 4,000 or 50,000 pound vehicle rolling down the highway that is maybe uncontrolled. Not good. Anyway, those are some of the things you need to know this week. I'm Chase Cunningham, Dr. Zero Trust, reporting for Cybersecurity HQ. As always, stay smart, stay safe, stay secure. I'll catch you on the next one.